the sword from his right thigh and plunged it into the king's belly. Even the handle sank in after the blade, and his bowels discharged. Ehud did not pull the sword out, and the fat closed around it. Then Ehud went out on the porch, to the porch. He shut the doors of the upper room behind him and locked them. After he had gone, the servants came and found the doors of the upper room locked. They said, "He must be relieving himself in the inner room of the palace." They waited to the point of embarrassment, but when he did not open the doors of the room, they took the key and unlocked them. There they saw their Lord fallen to the floor dead. While they waited, Ehud got away. He passed by the stone images and escaped to Syria. When he arrived there, he blew a trumpet in the hill country of Ephraim, and the Israelites went down with him from the hills, with him leading them. "Follow me," he ordered, "for the Lord has given Moab, your enemy, into your hands." So they followed him down and took possession of the fords of the Jordan, and that led to Moab. They allowed no one to cross over. At that time they struck down 10,000 Moabites, all vigorous and strong, and not one escaped. That day Moab was made subject to Israel, and the land had peace for 80 years. May the Lord add a blessing to the reading and hearing of his word. Again, this is the second time that Israel has cried out for deliverance. The first time they cried out for deliverance was after 8 years of oppression. And after that, the deliverer then was Othniel, Caleb's younger brother. And we know Caleb from when they were in Jericho, being delivered. And so that was 40 years of peace. And if you think about it, that's a whole generation of people. So now, after 40 more years of peace, a whole new generation, they done forgot what Othniel did. And now they are back in the same position that they were, marrying interracially and mingling with that king and his whatever he had over them. And of course, God is upset again. Like, y'all, what is wrong with y'all? Now you're crying out after 40 years of peace. Now they being oppressed for 18 more years. Okay, now that's 58 years. That's a whole nother generation. Because 18, if the kids of the 40 years of peace are now 18 years old, that's another generation. And these kids done forgot what happened to their mama and their grandma. They totally forgot it. So now they are in oppression again. It is good to note, because we are in Bible school, that Ehud is one of the kids of Joseph the Dreamer's baby brother, Benjamin. Now the Benjamin's family, or his offspring, tended to be left-handed. It is noted in Judges, and I forgot where it was, but anyway, it's noted that the Benjamites were known to be mostly left-handed people.
Right.
So that throws everything off for all of us, majority of right-handed people.
I think that's obvious. I think you meant to say. I think anointed right hand, if I'm not mistaken. That's the reason why he was able to, because when they look at, because Benjamin means, I was reading this, son of right hand.
Okay.
That's what Benjamin means, son of right hand. And he was able to have his sword on the right side, because I got confused too, all right, because he was left-handed, right? Did I get it back?
You got it back.
I got it back. Okay.
So Benjamin does mean right-handed, but they were mostly left-handed people.
They had a bunch of them that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Benjamin's generation tended to be dominant left-handed. But the Bible also states that, and it states it like this, they could use both hands. They were ambidextrous. Or as the ghetto folks say, I was both-handed. Okay? So, having him, having his sword, or the weapon he had on his right thigh, made sense to all of us right-handed folks. Because most people are right-handed. It blows me away when I see Ozaria is left-handed. My grandbaby is left-handed. I put her plate down with the fork on the right hand, and she grabs it with her left hand. On the beach, she was trying to chase the seagulls, and I just knew she was going to change hands. She was chasing the seagulls, and there was a lady throwing breadcrumbs to the seagulls. And she had nothing in her right hand, but every time the lady gave her bread, she reached over with her left hand, and she threw it with her left hand to the birds. And I kept watching, going, okay, she's going to get tired of doing that with her left hand and change to the right hand. That girl did not change one time to her right hand. She kept throwing with her left hand, no matter what. And when I read this lesson, I was like, wow, we got some Benjamite in us, huh? But yeah, so having his dagger that he made on his right hand made common sense to when they came in to see King Eglon. It made perfect sense. Because of course, he must be right-handed, because the sword right there, he's the ground right out the right hand, and of course, it makes sense.
I got confused.
And so, Eglon is, as we see, there's two things that noted. The left-handed Benjamite Ehud, and the fat king, Eglon. It's good to note that because evidently Eglon, when you think of a fat person, and they note that, he must have been pretty huge. Pretty huge. And he probably just sat around and enjoyed the fact that the servants had to come to him. And he just told them what to do. And Connie, you might know this. I don't know if you like the movie Doom. Have you read the book or watched the movie? Any of y'all? It's a sci-fi movie, of course, you know I'm a sci-fi person. But in Doom, on the planet where they have a big fat leader. And he's so fat that he can't even move around on his own. He has to wear this little jetpack thing to make him rise up, and he floats on it in the air with his big fat self. Because he can't move, he's that fat. He can't get he's so fat. If you see my 600-pound, that big, when you can't even get up out of the bed, big. Pastor.
I want to go back just a little bit before you get into that, because you said it right about the whole generation of people. There's another whole generation, because they had, they in this in again, out again thing with God, back and forth, and then I was reading in the commentary, they had gotten to a point where they had become desperate again. All right. Now we're supposed to get these scriptures and apply them to today. Right? They're supposed to help us today. And as you stated, a whole generation of people have kind of come and gone. They may not be dead, but they're still alive, but they're in their old or senior years like us. Now, my question is, if we look at it today, because we're seeing the same thing today, people have fallen away from God. Going to church, but falling away from God. All right? Calling out the Lord's name in vain, but falling away from God and His Word. What is it that makes them fall again away from God when they have a generation or a group of people, family, us, who are still here trying to get them to change? What is it? Is it for them to get to that point where they're desperate again and they have to call out to the Lord? It's us telling Jazz and Ebbe, Erica and Tia, all them, what the Word is saying, but yet they're still, I'm not saying, I'm just using them as an example, but they're still falling away from the Lord. And then when they fall away and things don't work like they want them to work, then out of desperation, final, last resort, we call on the Lord. Why do we have to buy our sense all the time? You understand?
Yes.
Why do we have to go through the same thing Mom and Dad and them went through, Big Mama, Big Papa and them went through, when the answer's right in front of us?
And I tell you why.
Okay.
I read this article right after I was studying the Sunday school lesson. I was just scrolling through my news reel that comes on my computer at work. And so as I was going through it, I saw this article that says Gen Z no longer regard marriage. They have situationships. And I was like, situationships? What the heck is a situationship? And so I was reading the article, and basically what it's saying is the Gen Zers, the kids of our day now, don't want to identify or stand on anything solid. They don't. They would prefer to not have to decide, as example, whether I'm male or female. I don't want to decide that. Who knows? I might decide I like her. I like him. That kind of thing. They don't want to be identified as anything in what we consider a great foundation, a firm and strong foundation. So they rather have situationships instead of it being a boyfriend or a girlfriend. It's a situation. We're not going to say we're boyfriend, girlfriend. We're going to say we're just in a situationship. We might be romantically involved, intimately involved, sexually involved, but you're not my boyfriend. We're just in a situation. And if I see somebody else I decide I want to be with, I'll go with them. But that's not going to be my girlfriend or boyfriend either. That's just a situation too. That's nasty. Exactly. But they don't want to be identified as a girlfriend and boyfriend because they have now the pressure of going, okay, where is this going then? Are you going to make a decision on how this is going to go? Are you going to get married? They don't want to hear that.
So that's the reason why then a lot of our people are strange to commitment.
Yes.
They don't want to commit.
They don't want to commit because they have to make a definite decision and stand on something. They would rather fall for anything.
All right, so that goes back to what the scripture said in Deuteronomy about they did what they felt was right to them or in their heart.
You got it. That's what they do. We know it as the 70s. Peace, man. Do whatever you feel is good. If it's good for you, it's good. So now, you don't have to make a decision. Because if So why make a decision? You just basically understand because you're a Gen Zer, I'm a Gen Zer. I don't want to be identified as female. Because why? That makes me have to do things that are associated with being female. So therefore, I'm binary. I'm they and them. Don't call me Miss or Mrs. Don't call me Miss or Mrs. because I identify as binary. Today I might feel like, hey, dude, I'm a dude today. I feel masculine. I feel like I'm in control. I can do what I want to do. So therefore, if I want to punch you out, I can punch you out. Because right now I'm male, but I associate as binary. Tomorrow I might feel feminine. I might want to put on makeup and wear a dress. So therefore, I'm feminine that day. But they don't want to be associated with being feminine. Because I don't want to be that all the time. I don't want to stand for something definite. I want to be where I want to be. I'm still trying to understand where that's going. And now we got teachers that are teaching our kids the same freaking thing. Yeah. You know, in our day, we have, okay, you were born a little boy. Guess what? You get a truck. Because that's identified with male. You get a truck, you play with the truck. Okay. Me, guess what I did? I'm like, why is it male or female? Why does she have to play with a doll when she really want to play with this pretty red truck? So I gave her trucks. I didn't discriminate between whether it was male or female in a toy. Now, because the kids grew up like that, they go, okay, well, today I want to play with a doll. As a boy, he's got his little doll, and guess what? Everybody teased him because he had a doll. When, to me, it was okay for a boy to have a doll because now he might one day be a father. He needs a doll to understand that he needs to be gentler with the doll. You know, that was my thinking. If she wanted to drive trucks, then she can. I'm not going to say, oh no, you're a little girl. Girls don't drive trucks. No. But we've gotten that to now where the Gen Zers are at an extreme.
It's out of control.
It's out of control.
Because now we have seen debates and laws passed about why transvestites can't participate
in Olympics and
stuff, you know. And you got some that are for, some that against. Just yesterday, I was looking at and I know you gotta go, just looking at a video on ESPN where we just had a woman who played on a football team, and this is the first woman that ever played that didn't play in a kicking element of it. Like, you have had a woman that kicked the field goal, but this is a woman that played on the defense and made a tackle. All right. So
she was born female.
I mean, I can only assume she was. When I look at stuff like that, I think about Jasmine, and I think about my role as a father. You know, now I'm not saying I wouldn't buy her a truck if she wanted to play with the truck, but I would make sure it was my responsibility to make sure she identified with being
a female.
A female. You're
born biologically female.
It's right. Now, I mean, I understand that people have rights and all that stuff, and that's okay. Some people have propensities to be with same sex. I got that. You know, it's not, that didn't just start, y'all.
Right.
It's all through the Bible.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's always there. But if there's something that we have to deal with, just because you feel that way don't necessarily mean you have to continue to be that way.
Right.
God gives us the strength to overcome those things. I'm sorry, who you listen?
You know what? What I told my girls is, Erica just asked me the other day, we were watching Grey's Anatomy, and 2 two of the doctors are female, and they wanted to get married. But at the time of Grey's Anatomy, same-sex marriage wasn't a thing. And so anyway, Erica says, Mom, the end of Grey's Anatomy, the mother of one of the ladies did not want to be at the wedding and told her, I will not be at your wedding because this is really not a wedding. She was standing on what she believed should be male and female. She said, Mom, would you do that to one of us if we invited you to our wedding and we were same sex? I said, first of all, you know where I stand as that being, you being same sex, that's wrong. I said, as far as you know, if you know that and you still want to invite me, yes, I will support you. I said, because you're my baby. I said, but do I condone what you're doing? No, I do not, because that's sin. It's in the Bible as sin. I said, what we as saints need to understand is no different from that preacher that's preaching to you that's sleeping with every woman in the church. As far as I'm concerned, that's the same thing as having same sex. It's sin. Ain't no big ones, ain't no little ones. I still got to pray for this man that he get delivered from his adultery, fornication, because that's sin. Will I hear him? Yes. Will I support him in preaching the gospel? Yes, because somebody gonna get saved. He got to sit on his own bottom. When he come to the judgment, and God say, okay, Jude, and the Bible speaks of this. Did we not preach in your name? Did we not heal in your name? And what does God say? Yeah, you did, but I don't know who you are. Same thing. Baby, you are marrying this lady. That's what you want to do? Okay. But understand, when it comes to the judgment, and you go, but I loved her. That's not my plan. That's not God's plan. We know this. Do I support you as my child? Yes, I do. Do I condone what you're doing? No, I don't. That's why when you grew up, I told you, this is wrong, this is what the Bible says. That's my fact. That's what I'm basing it on. If your little tub want to sit on that dunghill, then your little tub sit on it. I'm praying for you. I'm going to tell you what the word says. I'm not going to beat you upside the head because you're gay. No. That's like saying, dude, you're an adulterer. I don't like you. You're just going to hell. No, I'm not going to whip you upside the head every time because you know what's wrong. You know it. We knew as we were growing up, before we gave our lives to Christ, that sin is sin. When we stole that cookie out the cookie jar, when Mama said not to get the cookie out the cookie jar, we knew when we got the cookie that it was wrong. But we did it anyway. So guess what? Now your little tub got to sit on its own bottom and take the punishment. That's why I tell them, I love you because you are a person that God has made and He has a definite plan for your life. Whether you take Him up on it, it's up to you. I can tell you about it. I can encourage you and tell you what good things He has in store for you, but it's up to you to accept Him. I don't have a heaven or a hell to put you in. I can put you through hell. Oh yeah, we can put people through hell, but we can't put them in hell. That's why God still has love for the man that murdered 16 people and is in death row, and if he says, God, forgive me, come into my life. And then the next day they electrocute him. Guess where he going? Guess where he's going? When he told that thief, God, Jesus, when you enter into heaven, remember me. I done stole all my life. I even stole God's soul. But today in paradise, remember me. I understand now. And guess what Jesus tells us? We know it. We know the scripture. Today you will be with me. It don't matter whether you stole God's soul and everything throughout your whole life. Today you're going to be with me in paradise. No, I'm not. So anyway, because my time up. Eglon, Ehud delivers the message from God and stabs Eglon in the stomach. And guess what, y'all? I was telling Pastor this last night via text. He said, go on to bed and drink about Ehud tonight. And I was like, yeah, you know what? What he did was, when he stabbed him, when he got up, old fat boy probably lost his balance when he tried to stand up in the first place. But when Ehud stabbed him in the stomach, he fell forward, and that knife just went right through. It was 18 inches long, so about this big. So when they went in there, he stabbed him in his fat belly, and he fell forward. The knife went. The heavy weight of him falling forward probably went right through his spine, which is why he was like, when I was reading it, I was like, why didn't he scream? Because once he jabbed him, he should have been able to holler at that time, but he didn't, because his folks were still outside the door, and he didn't even say nothing. I was like, he fell forward and jabbed it through his spine, which then paralyzed him and severed his nerves in his spine, which then made his bowels move. He lost his bowels. In other words, he pooped all over the floor, which is why they also thought, the king must be relieving himself, because dang, it stank. So we just going to leave him to that until he finished, okay? Because they just saw Ehud leave, and now they smell what's at the door. And they were like, okay, we just going to let the king stay in there a while so he can finish doing what he's going to do. And then they were like, hey, you been in there a long time. That's a long squat there. And like, we better go ahead and check on him. Because he is a big man, remember? So he might not be able to get up off the wherever he is using it. So we might need to help him. So anyway, they find King Eglon dead, and Ehud goes back to where he left the carriers of the tribute that they sent, and says, okay, follow me. We got Moab. We got the city of Moab. Let's take it over. And that day again, in that last 28th verse, they killed 10,000 Moabites. And they were all strong and valiant men. They were the big strapping ones that the king had supposedly guarding him and taking care of everything. They killed 10,000 of them. And Israel was delivered for the second time of being found evil in the sight of God. The next one is Shamgar. Whew. And it's been 80 years of peace. And we were just talking about it. Now we got 3 generations that's done forgot Ehud, that's done forgot Jericho, that's done forgot Othniel and Caleb and Egypt and Moses. They done forgot all of it again. And they find themselves the third time doing evil in the sight of God And God said, okay, I'm going to let somebody take y'all over again. As I end this, don't keep doing the same stupid stuff. I know. You know, we say, you know, the definition of insanity is to repeat doing the same thing over again and think you're going to come to a different ending. And it never happens. That's insanity. I done been there where Israel is and done that, where I was like, okay, God, Musa, forgive me for what I did. I know I was wrong. But every single time he come over here, I do the same thing. God, please forgive me. I don't want to do this again. Please help me. And the next couple days, no. Hey, you want to go out? Sure. Because I really like your company. I do. So yeah, we going out. And guess what? God, please forgive me. I did it again. It's just something about his lips. You know, I didn't mean to, God. Please forgive me. Help me. Guess what he told me? I told you how to do this. He said, flee, which means go the opposite way. You know this, girl. That's what he told me. He told me that you know this. And every time you invite it in, go the opposite way. I finally got it, guys. I finally got it. I'm like, God, I don't like the way I feel every time I do the same wrong thing that you told me not to do, and I do it anyway. So God, I'm going the opposite way. No, you cannot come in. Hey, babe, what you doing? You want to do it? Nope, not doing it. Finally to the point where I cannot see you again. Because I don't trust me. It's not that I don't trust God. Because he delivered every single time. And forgave every single time. But it's up to me to flee. It's up to me. It's up to you to stop. To tell our kids, this is the wages of sin. Is death. If you keep on doing it, you're going to hell. That's what the Bible says, not me. So it's up to you. It's up to us. We can be like the Israelites, or we can stop it right there. Because God never tells us or puts us in a situation that we cannot get out of. He promised us that. He said, I'll never put you in a place where you can't get out of it. I will make an escape for you. Well, God, I'm between a rock and a hard place. Okay? That means a rock right here and a hard place right there. You got a side, up, and down. He made a way. He will make a way every single time. So, call for your deliverer. He'll send you an Ehud, an assassin. It comes during tribute where you least expect it and take out the enemy for you. This concludes our Sunday school lesson for today. On next Sunday, on the second Sunday, do get your books. They're in the back. Second Sunday is here we go again. All right. Okay. The sin of Achan. And it comes from the book of Joshua. So we backtrack it a little bit. And That'll be the second Sunday in October, which is October the 8th. Joshua 7, 1 through 20, no, 1 through 12, and then 20 through 26. The sin of Achan. This concludes our Sunday school lesson. Thank y'all for participating and being here and listening to me run and all that kind of good stuff. You are now dismissed.
Can I say this before we dismiss?
Okay, yes.
I just wanted to say this. I'm not sure if it's I'm not sure if it's the generation thing you said. That's another thing. But I think now it's just flat out disobedience. I think it's disobedience.
We definitely in the last days, and it's always been obedience.
Yeah,
Disobedience.
I agree. But we used to just say a whole generation of people was dead and gone. Yeah, but it's a lot of people still here, but it's a lot of people just not listening.
Right.
You know, and they want to do what they want to do. You know, and you eloquently you explained that very well. So good. Get out of here before you start doing it.
I know, right? Because you just started something else.
I'm sorry.